How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about SOFI, which was down just around 5% on the day. If you guys remember what I was saying in the previous video, we could test support at 671. But then I said if we break through 671, we could see 650. We ended up seeing a low of $6.48. So as far as going into tomorrow, if weakness continues, many people have questions. Where do you see this stock going? We'll talk about it further in this video. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for SOFI. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $6.60, being down 5.04%. On the low, it tested $6.48, and then on the high, testing $7.11. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 66.25 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 53.279 million shares. So we had above average volume on the day, but you can see we dealt with a good amount of selling pressure. When we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 30.17. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. And it's clear to see that SOFI is in a bear market, trading below all of our major moving averages and being on quite the downtrend. And if you remember what I said in my previous video, I was saying that, hey, we might have some support at 671. But if that level does break, then we can see SOFI getting around 650. Ended up seeing a low of 648. So what I see going into tomorrow, if the pullback does continue, then I want to see if we end up getting to around $6.36. The reason why I chose this number in particular is because we were able to hold support at 648. So if we broke through 636, that's where I could see SOFI getting down to around 616 and so forth. Now, as far as if we get consolidation on the Friday, maybe some sort of a relief rally, I'd want to see SOFI go back to making a bounce to the $7 area. This becomes a very key level here, and that's why if we can reclaim 7 and the market looks bullish going into next week, I want to see if we could reclaim the mid 7s. Of course, we would have some resistance in these areas, but we do have earnings that is coming up on May the 10th. So that is not too far off whatsoever, and that might be the catalyst to get SOFI moving. But we do know as far as for $8, this is a psychological area for this play. A good amount of selling pressure is going to be here. There could be some possible profit taking. But if we have bulls that are stepping in, since we would be showing strength above the 21-day EMA and also being able to have that momentum continue and fill this gap to $8.50, I think that would be a really good look. Again, it's still not far off in regards to price, and a strong run up in the market can do that. But if we continue to have weakness, that's where I can see SOFI possibly trading it right at $6. So let's go on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for SOFI. So the green rows indicate new positions and red rows indicate closed positions. So we see here for April 21st filing, we have SFMG LLC that purchased 13,497 shares. And as far as recent changes, we have Joel Isaacson and Co. that ended up actually reducing their position by 54.92%. We also have CWA Asset Management Group that reduced their position by 40.84%. And we also have Bluebell Private Wealth Management reducing their position by around 36%, and as well as Mosley Investment Management Inc. reducing their position by 35%. Now, when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratios at 50 55.77%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 14.53 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 1.6 million, updated 17 minutes ago. And then for the short ball fee rate being at 1.68%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 19th, it is at 33.87. And then for the close of the 20th, being at 55.77. So one thing that is clear, there's a lot of shorts who are vested in this play. Plus, SoFi does have short squeeze potential with a short interest percentage of the float being at 17.96%. Now, let's move on to the order flow distribution.
Now, let's take a look at the order flow distribution for SoFi. So we see on the inflow, it's at 74.79, and then on the outflow, it's at 86.58. So we had an outflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 5.76. On the medium, it was 50.79, and then on the small, it was at 18.24. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 8.37. On the medium, it is 55.17, and then on the small, it was 23.04. Keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions, and it is an overall outflow day. Taking a look at the large-scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, April the 21st, the outflow of negative 2.6 million. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small-scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 8.01%. So this is up there for a stock like SoFi, but it does trade at normally high volume. And due to the fact we did have above average volume and most of it was selling pressure, it's not too surprising why the stock did not perform well. We also have to take into consideration the tech sector got beaten down quite a bit. We should say actually the market as a whole. So let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for SoFi, when it comes to the price action, we ended up testing a low at $6.48. So if we see a further pullback, I want to see support holding up at around $6.36. If we break through this level, then I want to see a next support hold up at around $6.16. And if we break through that, of course, we'll be testing $6. So add that to your homework, especially if we have more weakness inside of these markets. I want to make sure we're not being naive here. As far as for the upside, looking for a reversal, it definitely needs to go back to $7. And upon getting to $7, SoFi needs to make that move going back to 8. We know that 8 is a psychological area for this stock. There would be a lot of selling. So we would expect more volume to come in and bulls to push this price up, especially since it does have a gap to the upside around $8.50, and earnings is not too far off either. So a nice run up would be a good look for SoFi, I must say. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we do see some activity. We're seeing a combination of, yep, there has been some buying, but we also have seen that institutions have been reducing their positions as well. And then when we took a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential, but that really doesn't matter unless we have more demand. There's more buying inside of the market. This is very crucial. And when the market is pulling back, you could see clearly retail has been showing some interest, but we need to have that buying picking up some more. So what I'm going to expect is some sort of a relief rally. Whether it happens on the Friday or we get it sometime next week, I feel that'll be enough to bring SoFi back above 7, and then we can look forward to making that move to 8. That would be the best case scenario there. But we also have to understand the fact Jerome Powell did come out, and that's part of the reasons why the market tanked the way that it did, and he is prepared to actually do interest rate hikes above 50 basis points. So I know the market is pretty much shaken up about that, but at the end of the day, that is not surprising because we know how Jerome Powell has been hawkish, and we've talked about this on the channel as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.